Hey guys, Ro here and welcome to this tutorial. So today we're making this file card organizational booklet or album. I really didn't know what to call it, but I knew that I wanted it to have some tabs in there to organize like lists and stuff. So like to-do lists, grocery lists, crafting lists, you know, things that you create lists. So that was kind of what I wanted this one for. So I said, let me share in case one of you want to make this as well. So I purposely kept, excuse me, the back page a little bit longer because I wanted the file tabs to lay on top of it. And so I just thought it was really cute that way. And so I just put a couple floral embellishments on the front. I did a little bit of one of these with a couple tassels at the bottom. And I used this paper from the Paper Studio. It's called Terrace Bloom. So you'll see as we move through the tutorial that pretty much all the sheets are going to be 4.5 by 6 or 4.5 by 6.5 like this, because I wanted to use this specific paper pad when making this. So that's why all of the sheets are starting out with those measurements. So just to give you a heads up there. So let's go ahead and take a peek inside. So it opens like this. I didn't intend to really have a pocket here, but I did put one just so that you can kind of get a feel for what it would be like. And then we have a pocket here that I just have a file card in. And then it opens like this. And then we have another one of these where I want to put some like list and stuff like that. And then a middle pocket that's optional if you want. And you can make some more pockets too. I'll show you how as we move through in case you want them. And then we have another pocket here with another file card in there, and then opens again, and we have our last pocket here. And so yeah, just a very nice, simple, fun little album. And I don't know if you noticed yet, but I did not do any embellishing, no stickers, nothing on the inside. I just loved the way that these sheets looked themselves. So I didn't even do it. I just didn't feel a need to cover it up. I really love these pages. Even the white space didn't bother me with this album for some reason, because I could have easily covered this up, but I didn't. I just liked leaving the white space. Probably the first time that's ever happened where I really like having it there. So you can do the same, or you can absolutely cover it up. We did cover up this, which was white, and that's where that additional pocket comes in if you want it. But I thought these pages were so pretty, I just didn't want to cover them with anything. So it worked out perfect. It's simple in that aspect. So if you have a paper pad that you've been wanting to use that has some really pretty pages, this is a good album to do it with. Of course, decorating is my favorite part, but I just didn't feel a need. I played around with the cover, and that was good enough for me. So yeah, let's go ahead and make this little one. So lots of 4.5 by 6 or 6.5 inch sheets today to make this one. All right, so we're gonna start with 2 sheets that are 4.5 by 6.5. And these are hinge sheets. So I'm just gonna grab a couple sheets here. Just gonna pick random ones, I guess. Okay, so 4.5 by 6.5, and what we're gonna do is score it 1/2 inch on the 4.5 inch side. So mine are already cut up, but I'll make sure to repeat the measurements so that you guys know. So yeah, 4.5 by 6.5, 2 sheets for now, and then we are going to go ahead and score it 1/2 inch on this 4.5 inch side. So I'll do this part. And it is single-sided. I can't remember if I said that. I think I did, but yeah, single-sided. Of course, you can use double-sided, but great for a single-sided project if you have one of those pads that you've been wanting to play with. And we'll just go ahead and burnish really quick on our score lines. And as we go through, just keep in mind which side you want your design on. You'll see me doing that probably quite often. So these ones are going to be glued together like this, okay? So we're just going to glue it so that we can make this hinge to put our pocket on. So let's go ahead and do that, but you can decide if you want it to go like this. And so after that pocket, this would be the sheet that you see. So I think I'm going to do mine like this, leave this one white, and do that one. So, all right, let's go ahead and glue, and we'll stick these two together like so. And we're just going to push these two together, making sure that they are even, both sides. And so when you close it, you don't want anything sticking out. This is going to be our cover page. Okay, and now we're going to make our little covers for this hinge, make our little pocket cover. So we're going to need 2 pages that are 4 by 6.5. So let me see here. I'm just going to use these 2. So let's see, mine should already be, no, mine are 4.5, so I'm going to cut mine down to 4. But yeah, 4 by 6.5 for these next 2. Okay, and then we're going to put them like this. And we do want, on this case, we want our design to be on the outside so that in the pocket we'll have our white space. So it'll be like that. And then we'll go ahead and do our notch right here. Of course, you can do top pockets if you want to, but I'm just going to keep it with the original design that I did. So we'll go ahead and put our notch eyeballed pretty much right in the middle. Okay, and then these are going to be glued over each one on each side of the hinge. So it's going to end up being like that, and we'll have our first pocket. So what I generally do is I'll put this one here, bring the page all the way up to the hinge, and then I'll put glue there and then just go like that. And of course you can cut your corners if you want to. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and glue our little pocket together. So I'm just going to put glue straight down one line here, as close to that score line as possible, so we can have more depth in our pocket. And then this one's going to go on top of it like this, and this will close it up. And so for this one, we want to put glue on the 3 sides. So here, all the way, we want to put glue past this little piece, and I actually need to glue this down better. So we want our glue to come all the way up to this score line right here, but not, you know, on top of it or past it, because we want a lot of depth in our pocket, right? So, because just naturally when I was doing mine, I put glue here and I was like, wait, why am I doing that? So we definitely want it to go all the way to the score line, passing this little hinge thing here. And then this sheet can go right on top. And we just want to make sure we can close it. So we want it as far as we can to this score line, but with it being able to close. Let me see here. So just want to make sure it matches all the way around here. Okay. And this one is sticking out a little bit. It did with mine too. And that is not a mistake. We will just cut. And to make it even, and I don't think we need to do this with the second pocket, but for some reason we do with the first one. Mine did as well, so that's okay. We'll just cut it to be the same size as our cover. All right, let me see if I need to put any more glue. No, I'm okay. All right, so now we'll work on this little flap here, this page that comes out there. So that's going to be 4 by 6.5. So let me see if I have one here. So this is 4.5. No, this is 4. So yeah, 4 by 6.5. And then we're going to score it 1/2 inch on the 4-inch side, I believe. Yeah. I think. Yeah, okay. And mine's already scored here. So you would do that. And then we're going to take this page after you burnish your score line. And this is going to be our first little flap that goes over like this. So that's the purpose of this one. So when it's all said and done, it'll look like that. Let me just make sure. Yeah, okay. Kind of trying to remember as I go here. But we'll just move right on through together and we'll get there. All right, and we're just going to go ahead and glue this one down. Okay, so it opens like that. We'll fill in this part later. We have our first pocket. All right, so now we move to this side and we're gonna do our little flaps that go in out like that. So let's see, those are gonna be, we'll need 2 that are 4 by 6.5. So let me grab 2 more sheets. I'll grab this one and this one. Such an interesting sized paper pad. I had never really bought one this size yet, so it's like the first one. All right, so what did I say here? 4 by 6.5, and then we're gonna go ahead and score at 1/2 inch on the 4-inch side. So I need to cut mine down because I need them to be at 4 by 6.5, and they come at 4.5. So, and then we'll go ahead and score 1/2 inch on the 4-inch side. So 1. So again, in case I was confusing, these 2 sheets are 4 by 6.5, and we are scoring 1/2 inch on the 4-inch side. And we will go ahead and burnish. We'll burnish this one. All right, we'll bring our little album back here. And then what we're gonna do is this one's gonna be glued right here. And then this one's going to be glued right here. And for me, I kept the white space on the inside, and we'll be covering up this part here. So I actually should have let that be white, but that's okay. So, and I don't chop off the corners for this one. It just looks better because I'm not leaving a border or anything. It does look better when we cover it up. So with the hinges, I chop the corners, but not with these pages. All right, so let's go ahead and glue these ones down. So this one, just all the way to the score line, as close as you can, but not on it or past it. Okay, because we want it to be able to close okay. And we'll open up, and then this one's gonna go on that other side. So we'll just put some glue on our little panel here. All right. And so this one folds like that and like that. And we have our next panel. All right, so now we're gonna make 2 more hinges again to make another pocket. So let's see, our hinge pages are going to be 4.5 by 6.5. So I'll grab 2 more sheets. This one 4.5 now. So let's see, I think I'll do these 2. No, switch it up a little bit. Okay, so 4.5 by 6.5, and then we are going to score at 1/2 inch on that 4.5 inch side. So mine are already at 4.5 by 6.5, so just going to go ahead and score it. We shall burnish. Oh, I didn't do a good job burnishing this one. All right, let me see. All right, and we'll bring these 2 together. And now I'm just gonna be careful making sure where I want my, so I want my design to go on this side, right? Because we're gonna cover this up right now. So yeah, I want my design to go there. And I am learning from the last one, I'm gonna end up going this way with my design here. So I'm gonna end up going like this. So what we'll do first, once you decide which way you want your design to be, mine end up looking like this with the little tab or little hinge like that. But first what we're gonna do is go ahead and glue this page directly on top of this one. And you can make a pocket here. This is another opportunity for a top or a side pocket. So keep that in mind if you'd like to, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna do it exactly like the first album. So we'll just put glue all the way down. And here's my glue. Okay. And we will go ahead and glue it directly on top of that page, the back of this page. Right on top of it. Then we will take this hinge and do it just like we did our other hinge, just making sure they're lined up okay. So I'm just going to put glue on this one. And then I'll stick it right on top of here. Okay. There we go. And now we can make our next pocket. And we're almost done. Where's my other pocket here? Oh, okay, here it is. I was like, wait a minute, did I glue my pocket? Okay, we got it. So far we have this one, our first pocket, our second set of flaps that open up like this, and then now we're gonna put our 2 pages so we can have our pockets here. So our little pocket covers are 4 by 6.5, no scoring on those. So 4 by 6.5. I'm just gonna pick 2 more pages. Maybe I'll do these little swans or something now. Okay, and since mine are 4.5 already, I'm going to cut them down to 4 so we can have 4 by 6.5. Yeah, okay. Okay, and then we will go ahead and bring them over, and we are going to need to do our notch and make sure our design is, you know, like that. And I'll do my notch really quick. The middle, I want side pocket again. And we're gonna glue them just like we did that first one. So I'll put this one here, stick glue on the hinge and bring it over. We can actually cut the corners of the hinge if you want to. So do that really quick. There we go. And then it's going to go like that. Okay. So I will go ahead and start gluing. Just one straight line all the way down. There we go. Then we're going to glue the other side. And remember, we want our glue to go 3 times around like this. All right, we'll put this one directly on top of it. Remember, we want it as close to that score line as possible without going on top of it or over it. Okay, and now we have this pocket. And let me fix mine. There we go. It's better. Okay, and now let's see where we are. Oh, I went all kind of backwards. Wait, where am I? Oh, that's because I pulled that over. Okay. So now we have that pocket, and now we have this page. So let me see where we are after our last pocket. I'm thinking that pretty much wraps it up. Yeah, it does. Okay, so now you can decide if you want your back page to stick out a little bit like mine did so that the tabs kind of lay on top of it, or if you want it the exact same. So I'm going to do mine where they lay on top of it. So I believe that's going to be 4.5 by 6.5. That's the long version, let's just say. So let me grab a sheet that's, I think this one's 4.5, yeah, by 6.5. And so what will happen is it'll lay, and I'm actually going to put, how did I do that? Let's see. Oh, that's what I did. Okay. So you know how we have all these little strips here? If you want it to be longer, what I did was I put the design on the back, right? Because that'll be the back cover. And then when I glued it, before I glued it, I actually took a couple of these strips and I glued them right on top here, like this. And this just saves us from covering the back. So I glued them like that. And then I put my little notch here. And this is if you want the longer version. If not, you don't have to worry about this little step. And then this is going to go on top like that, and then I don't have any white space back there, and I already have my cover. So you can definitely do that. And if you don't want to have it a little bit longer, then it's just going to be the 4 by 6.5. Let me just make sure, but I'm pretty sure it will be. You put the design on the back, yep, and you go like that, and it'll be 4 by 6.5 if you don't want it to be a little bit longer. Okay, so I hope that made sense. But I'm gonna do it like mine in case you guys want it like that one. And I'm gonna go 4.5 by 6.5. So let me grab another sheet. I think I'll just match my back with the front. So I'm gonna go like this. Okay, first I'm gonna glue a couple strips here, or at least one strip. I think I put 2 on mine. And the strips that we've been cutting, those will work perfectly. I actually forgot all about this till we got here, but now I remember. So hopefully you haven't thrown them away already. But no, I think most of us keep our little scraps. All right, and then I'll glue the next one on top of there, or next to it. And I'm going this one like this, and like that. Okay, and now I can go ahead and glue this one right on top, like so. And it just looks really cute with it sticking out, I think. See, and so it ends up looking like that on mine, which I think is adorable. All right, so we'll go ahead and put glue just the 3 times around like this. And we are pretty much almost done. We'll cover up some white space. I'll give you the measurements for the little file cards and you'll be ready to go. All right, and so I'm just gonna glue this one right on top of there. There we go. We're looking good here. Alrighty. And now we have our back pocket. So let's see what we have so far. Got our cover. This opens like that. We have our first pocket here. Then we have these 2 that open like that. And then, I keep feeling like I have something here, but I don't. Okay. And then we have this pocket like that. So hold on, let me go through it again, make sure I'm not forgetting anything. First pocket, our flaps that open. Yeah, second pocket and third pocket. We didn't do flaps after this one, so we're not missing anything there. All right, so now let's go ahead and cover up this middle white space right here because we don't want to see this thing here. And so for that, let's see, that is 3 7/8 by 6.5. So let me show you that one. So 3 7/8, that's going to be the mark right before the 4. So it's in between the 3 3/4 and the 4-inch mark. So again, right before the 4, that's our 3 7/8. And then by 6.5, so we will keep the same length there, for me anyways, but cut yours down to 6.5. And that allows us to put it right on top of there, but also be able to close them. But mine have no border, so if you want a border, you'll have to cut it down just a little bit. But I didn't really want a border on mine. Now, again, if you want a pocket here, you can put a notch and go for it. Like so, and then just glue like this. And if you don't want that pocket there, just go ahead and glue it. You won't have to worry about how or anything like that. So I'll do the pocket with you just in case. So we are just gonna go like that and like that. Gluing it directly on top in between those 2 score lines right here. And there we go. And so you would do the same thing, same exact measurements for this one right here. And then if you want to cover up these 2 pages, let me see, I didn't really check into the measurements for that, but pretty much will be the same, minus like 1/8 of an inch or something like that. So let's see, that's 4. So I believe it would be, yeah, 3 7/8 by 6.5, I'm pretty sure. So let me see if I have one that's that size, just so we can make sure. I'll use this one. Let's see, 3 7/8. I thought one of those sheets were shorter, but maybe not. It might be the exact same. Right. This one's already 6.5, and let's see if it fits there. No, this one is a little longer. So let me see. Oh, because it is. Yeah, it's 3.5. I must have looked at that wrong. So then we're gonna go 3 3/8, I believe. So let me see. I'll check mine first. Yeah, that's more like it. Can probably go a little bit bigger. I do have a little bit of white space there, but it still looks good. Let me see if we can bring that in a little bit more, because it's 3.5, but you want to be able to, what I would do is start at 3.5 by 6.5, put it on here before you glue it. Make sure that you can close it. And if you can't close it, then just take a little bit off and do the 3 3/8 by 6.5. So it'll be in between, you know, those two measurements, but it still looks really good like this, honestly. Like if I was going to cover it up, I would totally use this. You can put another pocket right here, another pocket up top if you want to. And I think that would look perfectly fine at 3 3/8 by 6.5. And the 3/8 inch mark is right in between the 3 1/4 and the 3.5. So the little mark right before 3.5, that's your 3 3/8. There's a lot of measurements coming out. I hope I'm not confusing anyone. All right, so you already know the measurements to cover up this one. And let's see if we're missing anything. I think that pretty much is it. And we have our little album. I'm trying to find my cover. Okay, so it looks like this when it's all done. And then if you want to cover up this part here, what I did was I just took a sheet and did my, you know, my notorious fold over thing that I did. I used my decorative scissors. So let me see, you guys want ideal measurements for that. It's going to be 6.5, but let's say, let's try 3. And so all I did was, so this is a 3 by 6.5 inch sheet. You can use your decorative scissors like I did if you want, and just cut at the end to give it a little bit more character. Totally optional though. And then I fold it in like this, and that's it. And you can make a little pocket here if you want. Just glue the top and the bottom. I didn't do a pocket on this one. I just totally glued it in the front, and then I just glued it in the back. And then all you want to do is just make sure that you keep out a little bit, just a little bit, pull it out just a little bit before you glue it, just so you have some space when you open and close it. But you can use fabric or, you know, anything that you want to cover the binding. So that's that. And now let me give you the measurements for the file cards. So I'll just grab mine, and it should fit fine, but just to be sure. Yep, it fits great in there. See, and I just love how the tab hangs over like that. All right, so these are, I think they're 3 1/4 by 5.5. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 5.5. And before adding the tab, they are 3 1/4. So yeah, again, 3 1/4 by 5.5. That's the size of the little file cards that'll fit every pocket. And then I just took a little sheet that's like 2 by 1, I believe it was. So 2 inches by 1 inch. 2 by 1. And then you just round the little corners. So we'll just round this corner, that corner like that, and then you have your little tab to put wherever you want it. And so for me, I put one tab up there with the next pocket. I kind of, you know, laid it like this, and I put it there. And then the next one, I did the same thing with the last file card. So I hope that makes sense. So I actually glued it into the back like that. But, you know, there's all kinds of techniques for these where you can actually build it into the file card. You could even have a little folder, you know, all that stuff. So I'll leave that up to you. But that's how I did mine. It was really just that easy. So that's it, guys. We have our little album. Look at it one more time, like this, like that. Opens up like this. You'll be covering yours. And then like this, we have our pocket in our pocket. So super easy and really fun and great for lists and stuff. So anyways, thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. I enjoyed it. Always love crafting with you. So stay tuned. I have a couple cute little projects that I'm going to try to film as soon as possible and get those up for you guys as well. So I'll check you out in our next video. So bye for now, and happy crafting, everyone.